Well, I can't tell what species these are, and it's impossible to from this angle. These are some sort of thinned wasp in the genus Mizinum. They're doing quite an interesting behavior of all congregating on this one branch right here. They also always seem to be at this one spot. This dragonfly right here is an immature male marl pennant, a pretty common species in South Florida that you can find in coastal habitats and scrubs, and also near lakes and canals. Fully matured males are all black with reddish colored eyes, but immature males and females have yellowish patterning. This was quite an unexpected find in my neighborhood lake. A pair of wood ducks, the male being the one with the more bright colors in the red beak, green head, and white stripes on the head. While these are a pretty common duck species, I normally see them in more secluded areas. This right here was actually the first time I'd ever seen one in my neighborhood lake, and I haven't seen them around since. This right here is a beautifully patterned, fully matured yellow-crowned night heron. You can tell it's in high breeding plumage because of the pinkish colored legs. On the other side of this lake, right next to some sort of turtle, either a slider or a cooter, is a juvenile yellow-crowned night heron. You can see it's a lot browner, and it's missing those black stripes on the head. Also in my neighborhood lake was this American alligator. I've seen alligators every now and then here, but this was the closest I'd ever been to one here. It was definitely less than 6 feet away from where I was standing taking this video of it. But it was just basking there and didn't really seem to mind my presence at all. This common nighthawk is just out here flying around making its calls, probably also looking for food, but this one was also displaying to another common nighthawk. And the way they do that is by going up really high and then diving down. Speaking of sounds, this pair of limpkins right here is calling and making not only one of the most iconic, but one of the loudest and some may say the most annoying bird calls in Florida. Limpkins are such an interesting bird because they don't really look like anything else, but their closest relatives are the rails and cranes. They mainly only eat mollusks like apple snails and clams. This right here, underneath a bird feeder, eating some bird seeds on the ground close to an eastern gray squirrel, was this lifer for me, hispid cotton rat, which honestly looks a lot more like a mouse than a rat. It's very small, with large eyes and large ears. You can see how sporadically it's moving. They're very shy, and I had to be very quiet and slow in order to get this close-up footage of it. Garnet glider is still my latest Palm Beach County discovery, but I haven't stopped seeing them ever since my initial discovery of their presence here. This individual is a male, and in flight it can be hard to tell the difference between them using colors, since in underside view you basically only see a silhouette. But I was able to get some closer pictures after I recorded this video, showing structural differences that proved it as a male. Apparently their flight season actually starts to peak in August, so expect more videos of these guys soon. This is a rare landed shot of a vermilion saddlebacks, a dragonfly species listed as vulnerable and is not very common in Florida. Not rare though, but there's actually been a huge boom of these guys in my neighborhood and I've been seeing them everywhere. So it was nice to actually see one landed and get good pictures. Now this right here is my lifer Florida green water snake, and I've been wanting to look for one of these guys for so long, and I've been wanting to go down to the Everglades to see one, but who needs that one? One just shows up randomly in your neighborhood canal. That's what this one did, and it makes sense why it was in here because I've been seeing lots of young Florida largemouth bass among other small fish, and that's what these guys, along with most of the other Nerodias, eat. Some ID tips for this species are the weird shaped head, the plain yellowish belly, and that checkerboard pattern on the back. This was probably one of the most entertaining things I've ever watched in nature. Sure, these are a very common species, the southern marbled grasshopper, but these two, I believe males, were fighting for probably territory reasons, and they were flashing their red legs at each other. and buzzing their wings at each other and jumping at each other, circling around each other. It was overall just entertaining to look at. I'm sure they weren't very entertained though. I think they were angry at each other.